day, St. Maarten. I'm Yesenia Lazaro.
And I'm also Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of St. Maarten News Desk.
Brought to you by TV15.
Where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
Woo! It's Wednesday. Let's check out these top headlines.
Governor's Symposium launches podcast and youth contest ahead of 15-year milestone. With just a month to go before the 2025 Governor's Symposium, the organizing committee has rolled out 2 new initiatives to get the public and young people more involved in this historic event. This year's symposium, marking 15 years of constitutional autonomy, will be held on October 10th at the American University of the Caribbean in Cupicoy. The theme, 15 years of constitutional autonomy, achievements, lessons, and prospects. To spark public reflection, a podcast series titled Autonomous Conversations will launch September 19th. Each short episode explores St. Maarten's journey from island territory to country, its role within the kingdom, and the voices of the people. Residents are invited to submit voice notes or short reflections on how autonomy has shaped daily life and what they hope for the nation's future. Selected responses will be featured in the podcast. At the same time, students in exam years have been challenged to join the Youth Creative Vision Contest. They can submit poems, essays, videos, or songs outlining their vision for St. Maarten's future. The winning entry will be honored at the symposium, published in Teen Times and other media, and considered for public display in Parliament and the Government Administration Building. All entries must be submitted by September 26th, and every contribution will be showcased at the symposium, which will also stream live on the Governor's Facebook page and the website.
Finance Minister confirms salary indexation funds for subsidized schools. Teachers in subsidized schools are one step closer to receiving their long-awaited salary indexation. Minister of Finance, Honorable Marinka Gums, confirmed that the 2% indexation funds were transferred to subsidized schools on Friday, September 5th. The minister clarified confusion from an earlier June press release, which had only referred to vacation allowance payments. At the time, indexation for subsidized schools had not yet been transferred, though civil servants received theirs in July. The delay came after a review showed that some schools had received excess funding in past years. Government initially considered having schools use those funds for indexation, but because the situation differed from school to school, the Council of Ministers decided in August to cover the indexation for all subsidized schools directly. School boards were officially informed on September 2nd, and the transfer was finalized just days later. However, the actual payment date for teachers depends on their school boards, which must update payrolls to reflect the retroactive adjustment back to January 1st, 2025. Minister Gums expressed regret over the delay, but stressed that fairness for all teachers was the priority. She urged school boards to process the payments quickly and reaffirmed her commitment to transparency and equal treatment for both public and subsidized school educators.
Princess Juliana Airport reopens after runway incident. Princess Juliana International Airport has officially reopened following a runway disruption that temporarily halted operations. Airport authorities confirmed that the runway is now fully operational, allowing flights to resume as scheduled. Officials expressed gratitude to emergency response teams, airport staff, aviation authorities, and all partners for their swift and professional handling of the situation. Their efforts ensured the safe removal of the affected aircraft and the timely restoration of airport operations. Passengers are reminded to check with their airlines for the latest flights updates and any schedule changes. Airport management emphasized its commitment to safety and quality service, thanking travelers, stakeholders, and staff for their patience and cooperation during this challenging period. Year after year, St. Maarten's leaders outlined bold visions for change. But are those promises translating into real progress for our people?
A new day begins. The sun rises over St. Maarten, bringing new energy, new possibilities. This island was built on resilience, progress, and the strength of its people. Our connection is what moves us forward. It links our communities, our businesses, our families. From the heart of the island to the shores beyond, we've connected St. Maarten. From every street to every home, this network was built for St. Maarten by St. Maarten hands. Connection isn't just about signals, it's about people. This is your island and your network recharged. Proudly local, we're here for today, tomorrow, and every milestone ahead.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with the Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, Sint Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive in today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us. That's it for your Sunshine Report, brought to you by the Met Department of Sint Maarten. Stay safe, enjoy the breeze, and have a great day, Sunshine City.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to remember to help keep you and your family safe. If you're not in an area that is advised to evacuate and you decide to stay in your home, plan for adequate supplies in case you lose power and water for several days and you're not able to leave due to flooding or blocked roads. This hurricane season, make a family emergency communication plan. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of Sint Maarten. The Ministry of Vromi, Department of Infrastructure Management, together with the Police Department KPSM, is making changes to traffic on a section of Canagita Street and Manzanella Steak, Philipsburg. The Canagita Street from the intersection with Percy LaBega Street to Manzanella Steak will now be a one-way street. Inbound traffic can enter Canagita Street from Percy LaBega Street and drive straight ahead or turn left into Manzanella Steak. Outbound traffic leaving town on Canagita Street must make a right turn onto Manzanella Steak. Entry further into the Canagita Street will no longer be permitted. Outbound traffic exiting Manzanella Steak onto Walter Nisbet Road can either make a right or left-hand turn. The Ministry of Vromi, Department of Infrastructure Management, and the Police Department would like to thank the public for their attention to this change. Please follow the new traffic rules and signage and drive safely.
World's largest cruise ship, Star of the Seas, arrives in St. Maarten. Royal Caribbean's newest and world's largest cruise ship, Star of the Seas, is set to call at Port St. Maarten on Thursday, September 11th. The Icon-class vessel, often described as a floating city, can host up to 5,610 guests at double occupancy with a maximum capacity of 7,600 passengers plus 2,350 crew members. Constructed over 2 years at Finland's Meyer Turku shipyard at a cost of 1.74 billion euros, the ship measures nearly 1,197 feet long, 159 feet wide. The state-of-the-art cruise ship is powered by liquefied natural gas and includes advanced environmental programs such as waste heat recovery and shore power connection. Star of the Seas shares the title of the world's largest cruise ship with her sister vessel, Icon of the Seas, and is part of Royal Caribbean's plan to introduce a net zero cruise ship by 2035. Port of St. Maarten CEO Alexander Gums said the island is proud to welcome the ship, highlighting St. Martin's beaches, culture, and hospitality as a premier Caribbean destination. This marks the first stop on Star of the Seas' maiden Eastern Caribbean voyage, which began on August 31st from Florida's Port Canaveral. Royal Caribbean, celebrating over 50 years in operation, continues to lead the cruise industry, serving more than 300 destinations worldwide and winning the Best Cruise Line Overall Award for 22 consecutive years.
Literacy Month 2025 kicks off with Family Story Time. The 2025 Literacy Month celebrations began with a joyful start at the Sint Maarten Library on September 6th as young readers and their families gathered for a special storytime session. Children were enchanted by tales like Too Many Frogs by Sandy Asher and Library Lion by Michelle Knudsen, brought to life by librarian M. Powell. Families actively participated, lending their voices and imagination to the stories, reflecting the community's dedication to fostering a love for reading among the island's youngest members. The celebrations continue with Family Literacy Day on Saturday, September 13th at the Government Administrative Building, Swaliga Rooms 1 and 2, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The day will feature a parental reading workshop led by literacy advocate Patty Mayer, enchanting story times, a puppet show, holistic mindfulness training by AUC medical students, and informational booths with resources for family learning. Organizers encourage families to attend, create lasting memories, and explore the possibilities that reading opens for children's future.
Horizon hurricane exercise underway in Windward Islands. The Caribbean Defense Department has launched its annual hurricane response exercise, Calm Horizon, across St. Maarten, Saba, and St. Eustatius. The 2-week drill brings military personnel together with local security partners to boost readiness and improve coordination in the aftermath of a hurricane. The exercise involves various defense units, including the naval ship HNLMS Pelican, FRISC vessels, and support teams. Activities rotate across the 3 islands, giving military personnel valuable experience with local conditions and allowing them to collaborate closely with government agencies, NGOs, and private sector partners involved in emergency relief. By conducting these exercises, the Defense Department ensures it is fully prepared to assist civil authorities, provide emergency support, and maintain public order immediately after a storm. Calm Horizon highlights one of the Ministry of Defense's 3 core responsibilities in the Caribbean region. Feature story, we look at 2 governors' speeches, years apart, echo the same urgent themes: justice, public safety, and reform. The question is, are we moving forward or simply repeating the past?
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every laugh, every adventure, #1 provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to.
slow, but I never fail. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Guess what? I got an idea. It's amazing. You see how we have the link sharing all everywhere?
QR link,
the
yeah.
QR link.
Yeah.
Raw Caribbean Channel app. Yeah. You're welcome. Put it in the back.
But it's not an app though. It's not an app. App, you have to like download something to get it on your phone, take up space. It's not an app.
It's like an app. Therefore, it can be an app. So, it's an app. Raw Caribbean TV app. Say it with me, Al. Come on.
It's not an app though. All you gotta do with that, it's a link. You take the link, you hit the bookmark, you say add to home screen, and so it shows up like an app icon, but it's not an app though.
Are you a real person? It is an app because you get to watch all the programs from Raw Caribbean at one place. It is an app.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but factually and technically, it's not an app. Kind of like we do the news, facts,
Yeah.
and you do that thing you do.
Whoa.
Point being, you just go to the QR, you hit bookmarks, and you hit add to home screen, and then you can have the link to, let's give it another name.
The app.
You want to call it the app?
Raw Caribbean TV app.
Jess.
Yes.
Jess, please, give some sense, Jess. Jess.
It's kind of like an app.
That's why she gets the big bucks.
It's not an app, though. It's not a app. What the It's not a app.
Ooh, you kiss your mother with her mouth? My God. Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Yes.
It's not an app, though.
Good day and welcome back to our featured story. Every September, St. Maarten pauses to hear the governor's address to Parliament. It is a solemn tradition, a moment where the government's vision and priorities for the year ahead are laid out. But over the years, these speeches have carried a familiar tone. In 2022, we were told St. Maarten was at a turning point. This year, we heard it is time to embrace, commit, and act. Different words, perhaps, but the same message. Progress is promised, yet still delayed. Today we ask, are we stuck in a cycle of speeches without solutions? Here's our special report.
On September 9th, His Excellency Governor Ajamu Bailey delivered the opening address for the 2025-2026 parliamentary year. On behalf of the Council of Ministers, he outlined government's vision for stronger finances, economic growth, and reforms in healthcare, justice, and infrastructure. It was a wide-ranging speech highlighting a 147% boom in construction, record-breaking tourism growth, and new initiatives like a general health insurance law and a national child safety code. But hidden within the optimism were acknowledgements of problems we'd heard before. The justice system stretched to its limits, a prison project years in the making, still not complete, a police force lacking manpower and equipment, youth crime on the rise, and emergency services that are, in the governor's own words, under significant pressure. Just 1 year ago, the same ceremony carried a warning that St. Maarten stood at a critical turning point. That message could just as easily have been delivered this week. The speeches, separated by time, almost echo each other. And outside the walls of Parliament, the consequences are real. Our prison remains overcrowded. Our landfill is dangerously mismanaged, with government spending only 0.5% of its budget on waste. Our mental health system is so fragile that critical new facilities won't arrive until 2027, and our police force is still waiting for long-promised upgrades. What we are left with is a picture that many frontline workers, unions, and community leaders recognize all too well: a cycle of promises that outlast governments, while ordinary people live with the risks. Yes, legislation is drafted. Yes, new plans are announced. But for firefighters pulling 24-hour shifts or families calling an ambulance that may never arrive, those plans mean little until they are truly acted upon. As Governor Bailey concluded his most recent speech, he called on Sint Maarten to embrace, commit, and act on its development goals. The question is, when?
Madam Chairlady, Sint Maarten stands at a crossroads where economic growth, environmental protection, and climate resilience must work together. Government's achievements in 2025 and strategic plans for 2026 demonstrate that sustainable development is not just possible, it's profitable, protective, and essential for our nation's future prosperity. Madam Chairlady, members of Parliament, in this new parliamentary year, government will once again present you with various legislative initiatives towards the execution of its plans and realization of its objectives. As representatives of the people of Sint Maarten, government looks forward to fruitful, efficient, and effective dialogue, as well as your committed participation, this with the aim of garnering your support to serve the public interest on behalf of the people of Sint Maarten. Madam Chairlady, members of Parliament, I wish you much success this new parliamentary year, and I pray for your wisdom and discernment. Thank you. God bless you and yours, and God bless our great nation, Sint Maarten.
That was today's News Desk feature. 2 speeches, years apart, both calling for urgent change. Yet on the ground, the same struggles persist. Emergency services under pressure, justice delayed, and basic infrastructure falling behind. So we ask again, are we at a turning point, or are we simply turning in circles? That's all the time we have for today's edition of Sint Maarten News Desk.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday morning at 8 a.m. on TV 15 and then across other social media platforms. I'm Alston Lawrence.
And I'm Yesenia Lassero, wishing you an amazing evening. See you tomorrow.
Stay friendly, Sint Maarten.